Hi, and welcome to Raw Ramblings. Let's start off by talking about the promo that Cody and Seth gave for their match build up to Crown Jewels. Both guys are great mic workers and they really know how to work on a crowd. And this promo wasn't anything in particular. Whilst I was looking forward to the match, I'm now really excited for it. And both guys gave their own presentation on why they should be WWE's number one guy. Cody happened to bring up the fact that Seth has yet to beat him in their 3 previous matches, and also that Seth can't do it on his own. So, we all know what that leads to. Okay, this followed up by a 6-man tag between the War Raiders and Penta and the New Days and Grayson Waller. And whilst everybody got what they needed to get into the match, unfortunately Grayson Waller seemed to take the worst of it. Now, there were some great spots throughout, and whilst this is a solid match, it's probably a match you don't need to re-watch. Nothing overly special. And as a result, Penta delivered a second rope Mexican Destroyer to Grayson Waller. It looked like it hit him hard and the selling was a little bit weird, so I'm hoping he's okay and that this can lead towards something better for them all. My biggest question is, where do we go with them now? What looked to be a Lucha Brothers reunion now seems to have fallen flat on their face, because Penta should be done with the New Day. And what did the New Day do? WWE's tag team, or the World Tag Team division on Raw, has been lacking for quite a while. My question is it time we had a refresh? Okay, talking of the tag team division, Jimmy and Jay were talking backstage, and it came out that Jay had managed to arrange a match against LA Knight rather than a tag match. This seemed to cause a little bit of friction between the Usos, but they're still brothers, they still kept going. We then got our flowers with Stephanie Vaquer, and she was presented to everybody as the WWE Championship, the World Championship winner, and how much that she was going to go for it. We'll see who she faces on SmackDown at Crown Jewels and working from then. Judgment Day then got into a little bit of shenanigans when Dominic, who had been threatened by Rusev for a title shot, ended up throwing JD McDonough underneath the bus, or should we say the Rusev, to hope that was going to be a cause. Finn didn't want any part of it, so I think we're finally going to get that breakup. We've all been thinking about it for a while. We then had a Bayley versus Roxanne Perez match, and Bayley was joined by Lyra Valkyria after what appeared to be the Hugger persona making its attention. This match was solid and good. It's neither either women's best match, but it was a good enough television match that you felt you were invested. In the end, a little bit of a violent tendencies from Bayley when she seemed to lose control led to her being able to hit the Bayley to belly suplex and then the Rose Plant for the victory. My question after this is, Roxanne Perez seems to be the one in the Judgment Day that takes the losses. We need something for her. She's a top talent, and at times it feels like we've stumbled with her. To talk about this as a later on segment, Bayley and Lyra then got into it after the match, after Bayley had switched to her pain in the arse mode and told Lyra to stay away. So this is definitely leading to something. Cody then followed this up with a meeting with Jimmy to talk about Jay. And it appears that everybody seems to be noticing an issue with Jay. After an advert, Cody then went and found Jay, and Jay spent quite a lot of time looking at the WWE title. So again, WWE is hinting at a possible heel turn for Jey Uso. And after his match, there is a concern. Rusev then absolutely battered JD McDonough, although JD managed to get quite a lot of offense in and I think they protected him a little bit. We need to give JD more. He certainly feels like he's being missed a little bit in the shuffle. But after the Meska kick and then the Acolyte, Dominic had an opportunity to run in and essentially try and help him and didn't, and JD tapped out. And when Rusev refused to let go, it wasn't Dominic that came to save him, it was Finn. Now Finn got a cheer, and as I've been saying since WrestleMania, this is probably what we're going to do. With Dominic and Finn now appearing to clash, there was a big argument as the guys left and went up the ring, and Finn got the cheer that he did after NXT. Are we pushing him towards his face turn again? He probably needs something new, and the solos run probably wouldn't have hurt him either. After this, by Jey Uso and his yeet calls. Yeet. As always, Jey managed to talk with his crowds, and he was with a lot of fans, especially the kids who he was yeeting with and making a big influence. But he came out in all black. There was no merchandising t-shirts. He'd previously said that he was still carrying a lot of the scars from his WrestlePalooza match, so that may have counted to something. LA Knight follows him out, and they have what could be argued to be one of the better matches that Raw has posted. Certainly in the men's division, it's solid, it's good. Guys are doing the right moves, they're telling good stories. This worked for me. And it's important to know that I think whoever lost this match as a result of what was given will not hurt them. So Jey managed to, with the interference, indirect or not, by the LeBrons, led to a spear and then Uso splash. As Jey then left the ring, the LeBrons got into the ring, and Jimmy was at the centre stage talking to Jey, saying, "Come on, we got to help him." And Jey said, "No, I don't need this," and walked off. It was Jimmy that saved LA Knight from the Vision. What kind of story are we telling? Again, I go back to this. Are we turning Jey heel? And how good of an idea is that? Well, in the promo at the beginning of the night, Seth talked about the watch that he was given to Cody after WrestleMania 40 to thank him for everything he'd done. The switch to this was he was spending a lot of time looking at this watch as Becky was ranting and raving and saying how good they were to the division. So are we going to use this watch as a kind of a make-way? If we are, I'm hoping it's the fake one, not the real one. I think it wouldn't make more sense to me. I then come across some of my favourite bits. Firstly, the AI generated Los Americanos was brilliant. Absolutely loved it. Give me this all the time. But just to double down on this, afterwards, AJ and Dragon Lee came through, and AJ stole Raw for me yet again. There is a reason why this guy should be pushed more, and Lee has produced a video on something that we definitely think needs to happen, so let's go and do that. But it's been announced that next week AJ and Dragon Lee will take on some of Los Americanos, but AJ said, just make sure we don't sign anymore. Okay, this led us all the way up to the main event, and both women were fantastic. This is a PLE equivalent match that could have gone on forever. Northern Lights from Rhea, along with super snap suplexes, were fantastic, with Asuka doing certain things like arm bars, ankle locks, transitioning from ankle locks to German suplexes. Both women gave great stories, and as rightly said, the crowd were cheering for this match. The ending came when Kairi Sane went to hit Rhea, but avoided it, and Asuka caught some of it and was rolled up by Rhea for a pin. Now, usually this would be a big problem for me. Roll-ups meaning nobody gets a clear victory, but today this one made sense. I have no problems with this match. The ending had Asuka turn heel, spraying Rhea, and then turning on Io as she went for the attack. This has been Raw Ramblings. We'd like to hear your views and comments, so please feel free to live down below us, and we'll catch you on the next one.